part 2 of our art outdoor activities. So today we are going to be getting a piece of grass that shows a nice gradation of color, meaning that it goes from dark green to light green. We are going to be using this as our inspiration for our own masterpieces. So we're going to be creating something like this, and we're going to be practicing value and gradation, going from dark to light, as you can see in my blades of grass. So supplies that you're going to need is a piece of paper. You're going to need a pencil. If that's all you have, piece of paper and pencil, then great. I will show you how you can complete this project with just piece of paper and pencil. But if you have a black pen, that'll be a great addition. Also, if you have colored pencils, that's going to be a great addition. Particular, you're going to want a dark green, a light green, and a yellow. And then any other colors for extras. So in my artwork, I added a ladybug, so I used red and black. And then I drew my dog, but he's white, so I just outlined him in black. So those are the supplies that you're going to need. So go gather them up, get permission from a parent or guardian. Let them know that you're going outside, or more, ask them if you can go outside, and let's get started. All right, boys and girls, before we get started, let's talk about a few key words. Our first word is going to be value. Now, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So in this picture, you can see that it shows the darkness of a color at the bottom, and then it slowly, gradually gets to very, very light. So there's not just black and white, but there's all different kinds of shades of gray in between, and the same goes with color. Our second word is gradient. Now, gradient is the visual result of gradually transitioning from one color or value to another. So my shirt that I'm actually wearing is demonstrating gradient. So you can see how it's going from green to blue to pink. This would be an example of a gradient. It's multiple colors, whereas value is one color going dark to light. So I want us to think about that as we're creating our work of art, because I want your art to demonstrate value and gradient. So if you haven't already, go around your yard and find a blade of grass that shows gradient. So as you can see, this blade of grass is going from dark to light, and this is going to be our inspiration for our jungle of grass masterpiece. So you're going to be starting with a pencil. I'm going to draw with a pen so that you can see it, but again, make sure that you are starting with a pencil, and you're going to look at this blade of grass, and I want you to look at the shape that it makes. It's very thin, and as it gets to the top, it gets thinner and thinner, and it comes to a rounded point at the top. So you're going to start at the bottom of your paper, and I want you to draw one blade of grass. And then as I'm looking at it, there are some lines that go through here. So I'm going to draw one line in the middle. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind when you're making your composition is that the blades of grass that are in the front are going to show the most detail. As we draw things that are behind, it's going to get less and less detailed, and we're going to create that effect with overlapping. So I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to draw multiple blades of grass in the front, and then we'll work on doing our background, drawing some that are in the back. Okay, so now that we have a good amount of blades of grass in our foreground, we're going to take some time and draw some in our background, meaning that we're not going to draw on top of what we just drew, but we're going to practice overlapping. So as an example, if I wanted a blade of grass behind this one, I actually already did it right here. I drew it and then I stopped because this grass is in front of it, and then I continued drawing. So let's take some time and draw some more grass that is in the background using overlapping. All right, boys and girls, I think that is a pretty good jungle of grass. So from here, we are going to use our pencil, and if you have them, we're going to be using our color pencils. We're going to be using dark green, light green, and yellow to create a gradient of color. So first I'm going to show you how you can do this if you just have a pencil. So if you just have a pencil, essentially your picture is going to be in black and white. So I want you to squint as you look at this blade of grass and look at which sections are darker and which sections are lighter. So the top of the grass is the darkest, and then it's slowly moving down to light. So if you just have a pencil, I want you to start at the top of your blade of grass, and you're going to press down harder with your pencil. And then you're going to slowly reduce the pressure that you're pressing down, and it's going to get lighter and lighter. And that's how you can color in your blades of grass with just a pencil while also practicing value. Remember, value shows the lightness and darkness of one color. Okay, so just right there, I did value with my pencil. So that's how I want you to finish coloring in your blades of grass if all you have is a pencil. Now, if you do have some color pencils and you have dark green, light green, and yellow, and let's say all you had was green and yellow, you can definitely still do it. The basics that you need is just 2 of these colors. But I'm going to show you how to do it with all 3. So with all 3, you are going to take the darkest color pencil and you're going to start at the top. And you're going to start pressing really hard at the top. And then as you get towards the middle, you're going to go lighter and lighter. So remember, the top is definitely the darkest. And then I'm going to stop once I get to the middle, and I'm going to pick up my lighter green. And I want to overlap some of the color because I want it to be a nice even blend. So I'm going to start using my light green here, and I'm going to then start going down my blade of grass, and I'm going to go all the way down, pressing lighter and lighter as I go. And when I get to the bottom of my blade of grass, I'm going to add in a little bit of yellow to lighten it up. And then as I'm looking at it, it's pretty good, but there are some spots, if I squint my eye, that it's a little too abrupt of change. It's not gradual enough. So I'm going to go back and just kind of work on blending these colors a little more seamlessly. All right, so those are your 2 options. Color in your blades of grass with pencil, still showing value, and you can also with your finger blend it if you want it to look a little smoother. You can do that with pencil. You can't really do that as much with color pencil. So option 1 is using pencil. Option 2 is using color pencil. So I want you to take some time right now and finish coloring in your blades of grass. Keep in mind that the ones that are closest to you, meaning that they're in the front, are going to be darker and more detailed than your blades of grass that are behind or in the back. So press down lighter as you get towards the back. All right, now that you've colored in your blades of grass, I also want you to work on adding some shadow on the blades that are overlapping. So with my brown color pencil, if you're using color pencil, wherever it starts overlapping, I want you to add just a little bit of brown to make it look like a shadow, to make it look like this blade of grass is in the front and that there's a shadow being casted there. If you're just using pencil, then go ahead and add just a little bit of darkness so that it looks like a shadow. And so as you can see, I did that with all my blades of grass, adding a little bit of brown shadow. And then next, I also want you to add some extras. So as you can see, I added a ladybug. I want you to add at least one bug. I added a ladybug because those are my favorite kind of bugs. If I see any other kind of bug, I kind of freak out. So I've got one ladybug. You could add a spider. You could add a roly-poly. I'm actually looking at a roly-poly that's crawling by my paper right now. So add one bug to your leaves, and then I want you to add some kind of creature peering behind your grass. So for me, I added my dog Bo. You could add an imaginary creature. Maybe you have a unicorn. Maybe you have a monster. Maybe you have your pet, like your dog or your cat or your guinea pig. I want you to be creative and add some kind of animal coming behind your blades of grass. And then when you're done drawing in those things, I want you to color in your sky behind. I actually used marker with water on top to make it watercolor, but you could use a blue colored pencil, you could use crayons, or you could just keep it white if you're using pencil. Totally up to you. So I cannot wait to see your blades of grass inspired masterpieces that's using value and gradient.